My child, I know the ache you carry when the night gets quiet and your thoughts get loud. I know what it feels like to lie awake and wonder if love passed you by, if the people you trusted were never truly for you, if the one person your heart longed for never even knew you existed. I know the sting of betrayal that made you guard your heart, the loneliness that made you question your worth, and the slow, heavy fear that maybe you were always meant to walk this road alone. You have smiled for people while hiding the tears that came later. You have kept busy so you would not have to feel the emptiness. You have asked yourself, over and over, why it seems so easy for others to be chosen, cherished, pursued, while you are left waiting, wondering, and praying in silence. Beloved, I have seen every hidden tear. I have heard every prayer you were too tired to speak out loud. And I am speaking to you now because I do not want your heart to keep believing the lie that you have been forgotten. You have been searching for comfort in places that cannot carry the weight of your soul. You have looked for answers in the wrong hands, the wrong voices, the wrong promises. You have tried manifestation because you were desperate for something to happen. You have looked for signs in numbers, in songs, in random words from strangers, in the timing of a message, in a name you kept seeing, in a feeling you could not explain. You have reached for luck because your heart was tired of waiting for certainty. You have tried to force peace by reading every article, every post, every whisper that promised clarity if you just followed the right steps. But my child, desperation can make a counterfeit feel sacred. Hunger can make almost anything look like a miracle. And when your soul is aching for love, it is easy to start calling every coincidence a prophecy. I understand why you did it. I understand why your heart kept scanning the horizon for a clue, for a face, for a name, for proof that you were not alone in this. But listen to me carefully, beloved. Your destiny is not being built by superstition. Your future is not held together by lucky timing. Your heart is not meant to be governed by omens and frantic searching. I am not insulting your longing. I am rescuing you from the fear that has been leading you in circles. There are moments when you have been asking the wrong question, not because your desire is wrong, but because your pain has narrowed your vision. You have been asking, where is my person? When I have been asking you to rest in, where am I leading you? You have been asking, when will they come? While I have been inviting you to trust, I know the way before you. You have been asking for signs because signs feel measurable, but I have been offering you something far deeper than a sign. I have been offering you my presence. My child, your soulmate is not lost. They are not forgotten. They are not wandering in confusion without purpose. They are not a fantasy, and they are not a prize for the lucky. They are a person with a beating heart, with wounds I have seen, with prayers I have heard, with burdens they have never spoken to anyone else. And while you have been crying out in your room, wondering if anyone could ever love you the way your heart needs, they have been crying out too, not because they know your name yet, not because they can trace your face, but because I have placed a holy longing in them that only I can fully explain. They have been asking me for something real. They have been asking me for a love that is clean, steady, loyal, and rooted in me. They do not know your name, but they are praying for the one I have chosen. They are praying for their future spouse, their covenant partner, the one I have been preparing them to recognize when the time comes. And in the secret place, when they lift that prayer, they are also lifting you, though they have never met you. You may not be able to see it, but I am at work in ways that are hidden from the natural eye. While you have been feeling overlooked, I have been arranging things. While you have been wondering if your heart was too damaged to be loved, I have been healing what others could not reach. While you have been waiting for a message, a call, a breakthrough, I have been working on timing, character, discernment, and protection. I am not only preparing the person you will love, I am preparing you for the kind of love that will not destroy you. Because some of the love you begged for before was never going to be safe for your soul. Some of the connections you wanted so deeply would have looked good on the outside and slowly drained you on the inside. I saw what you could not see. I heard what was not spoken. I knew where hearts were not honest, where promises were not pure, where attention was only a mask for selfish desire. And because I love you, I delayed what was not right, even when you called it rejection. Beloved, I know that delay has been hard for you. I know how delay can feel like denial when you are exhausted. I know how it can feel personal when your calendar stays empty and your prayers seem to echo back to you. But my timing is never empty. My silence is never absence. My restraint is never cruelty. I am not punishing you by making you wait. I am protecting the story I am writing over your life. There are things I must do in you before I let certain things come to you. There are wounds I must close, patterns I must break, fears I must uproot, lies I must silence. I will not send a covenant love into a heart still ruled by abandonment, insecurity, or the desperate need to be chosen at any cost. I am teaching you that being loved is not the same as being rescued from your own unhealed places. I am teaching you to stand whole enough to receive what I am sending. You have been carrying too many voices. The voice of heartbreak that says, no one stays. The voice of comparison that says, everyone else is ahead of you. The voice of shame that says, if they really knew you, they would leave. The voice of fear that says, what if you wait forever? I know those voices. I know how convincing they can sound after enough disappointment. But they are not the voice of your shepherd. They are not the voice of truth. And I am calling you back to my voice now. I am saying to you, my child, you are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too complicated. You are not invisible. The love I have for you is not theoretical. It is active, precise, and alive. And the one I have prepared for you is not random. They are being drawn by my hand, shaped by my wisdom, and stirred by prayers they cannot fully understand. You have wondered if perhaps you missed your moment. You have wondered if maybe there was a person you should have chosen, a road you should have taken, a conversation you should have had differently. You have replayed old chapters because your heart wanted control over what hurt you. But hear me, beloved, I am not asking you to live in regret. I am asking you to live in surrender. There is no need to chase what I have already set in motion. There is no need to force open a door I have not opened. There is no need to stare at someone else's life and call it your prophecy. What I have for you will not require manipulation. It will not require you to shrink, perform, or beg. It will come with peace. It will come with confirmation. It will come with a sense of holy alignment that no counterfeit can imitate for long. And yes, your soulmate is praying for you without knowing your name. That prayer is real. It is reaching into unseen places. It is aligning with my will. When they speak to me in the dark, I hear the longing behind their words. When they say, Lord, prepare my future spouse, I know exactly who they are praying for. When they ask for wisdom, purity, healing, and a love built on truth, I am already answering in the quiet. They may be living their ordinary life, going to work, caring for family, trying to keep going after their own disappointments, not realizing that somewhere, someone is praying too. Not realizing that the very ache in their chest is connected to the ache in yours. Not realizing that I am weaving two lives through two separate seasons until the appointed time when they will meet with no wasted movement, no accidental timing, no confusion about my hand. You do not need to become someone else to be found. You do not need to perfect yourself to be worthy. I am not waiting for you to become flawless. I am leading you into wholeness. There is a difference. Flawlessness is a performance. Wholeness is a healing. Flawlessness tries to impress. Wholeness learns to trust. Flawlessness is afraid of being exposed. Wholeness is safe in the light. My child, I am not after the image you think you must present. I am after the real you, the one who cries in private, the one who hopes again after disappointment, the one who still believes in love even after being bruised by it. That is the one I am guarding. That is the one I am healing. That is the one I am preparing to be cherished. Do not despise this season of hiddenness. Hidden seasons feel slow, but they are often where the deepest roots are grown. A tree does not become strong by reaching quickly. It becomes strong by sending roots down where no one can applaud it. In the same way, your heart is being rooted in my love before it is ever rooted in another person's love. Because if the root is weak, the fruit will fall early. If the foundation is shaky, even beautiful things can collapse. I am building wisely. I am not giving you a momentary thrill. I am guiding you toward covenant. And covenant is not sustained by chemistry alone. It is sustained by obedience, patience, mercy, humility, and a love that fears me more than it fears loss. You may have thought your story was behind others now, that maybe your chance had passed. But I do not measure with the measures of man. I am not constrained by age, by delay, by missed opportunities, or by what people call too late. I restore what was lost. I redeem what was broken. I redeem years. I redeem innocence. I redeem trust. I redeem the parts of your story that felt wasted. The enemy wanted you to believe that your pain disqualified you from love. He wanted you to believe that every disappointment was proof that I had turned away. But I am exposing that lie. I am showing you that the very pain that made you doubt me is the pain I am using to deepen your discernment. You will not be naive forever. You will not be easy to deceive forever. I am sharpening your spirit so you can recognize what is from me and what is only a distraction dressed as destiny. My child, I also need you to understand something about the one you are waiting for. They are not perfect either. They have battles they do not talk about. They have memories that still sting. They have had to learn how to trust me through disappointment, just like you. There have been nights they wanted to give up on love, nights they wondered if anyone would ever see them fully and stay. They have had to surrender dreams that were not aligned with my will. They have had to be corrected, pruned, and reshaped. And even when they did not have the words, their spirit was still praying. They were asking me for a companion, a helper, a friend, someone who would walk with them in truth. They did not know your name, but I did. They did not know your face, but I saw you. They did not know the path that would eventually bring you together, but I was already walking ahead of both of you. Do not let impatience make you blind to the miracle of preparation. What looks like delay is often my mercy. What feels like nothing is often me working in ways you cannot yet perceive. I am exposing hidden things right now, beloved. Hidden motives, hidden wounds, hidden attachments, hidden fears, hidden agendas. Some relationships around you are being revealed for what they truly are. Some doors are closing because they were never meant to stay open. Some people are being removed because they cannot go where I am taking you. Do not mourn every loss as if it were proof that you are unloved. Sometimes I remove what is incompatible with your future before it has the chance to become your burden. I will not allow your destiny to be entangled with what cannot carry your calling. I know you have prayed for clarity, and I know you have sometimes wanted that clarity instantly, without the waiting. But clarity is not always a lightning strike. Sometimes it is a steady unveiling. Sometimes the answer comes one layer at a time. And as I reveal, I also refine. The more you let me lead, the less you will be dependent on fear. The less you are driven by fear, the more peace will govern your choices. And peace will become one of the clearest signs in your life. Not every intense feeling is from me. Not every thrilling connection is a divine assignment. I am teaching you to notice the difference between pressure and peace, between obsession and holy attraction, between a counterfeit promise and a covenant invitation. Some of you have been consumed with wondering whether the person you met is the one. You have been reading into every glance, every pause, every delayed response. You have been trying to make meaning from scraps because your heart wants certainty. But I am asking you to step back and let me show you the bigger picture. I know the difference between a temporary lesson and an eternal partner. I know when someone is meant to sharpen you and when someone is meant to share your life. I know how to distinguish the voices, the paths, and the seasons. If a connection is from me, it will not require you to betray your peace to keep it alive. If it is from me, it will not push you deeper into confusion. If it is from me, it will not ask you to abandon your discernment just to keep a fantasy from dying. Beloved, I am not denying your desire. I am sanctifying it. I am lifting it out of desperation and into trust. I am showing you that love is not something you must wrestle out of the air with enough affirmations and enough hope. Love is a gift. It is received, not seized. And the love I have for you is already at work in ways that will surprise you. There are prayers being answered on both sides of this story. There are lessons being learned on both sides. There are deliverances taking place on both sides. You are not the only one waiting. You are not the only one yearning. You are not the only one asking me. Is it them? There is someone else who is asking me. Lord, whoever she is, prepare her. There is someone else who is praying. Make him ready. And I smile because I know exactly how I am answering. You may never know all the times your future spouse has already been covered by your prayers, even before you knew to pray for them. You may never fully understand how your tears, your fasting, your surrendered nights, your moments of giving up and then believing again, were all part of a larger weaving. But I tell you the truth, nothing you have offered me in faith has been wasted. Nothing. Every surrender matters. Every broken prayer matters. Every honest cry matters. The enemy wants you to think heaven is silent because your breakthrough has not arrived in the shape you expected. But heaven is not silent. Heaven is working. Heaven is aligning. Heaven is clearing paths, softening hearts, correcting routes, and preparing encounters that will make sense in hindsight, even if they are hidden now. And this is why I am asking you to let go of the need to control the process. Let go of the urge to check every possibility and decode every moment. Let go of the fear that if you are not constantly searching, you will miss your chance. My child, you will not miss what I have ordained. You will not overlook what I have marked. When the time is right, peace will settle where confusion once lived. What is meant for you will not have to be forced into your life. I am able to bring the right person through the right doors at the right time with the right evidence of my hand. I do not need your panic to accomplish my promise. Perhaps the deepest wound you carry is not just that you are single. It is that you have wondered whether being single means being unseen. It is that the waiting has touched the places where your worth felt fragile. It is that you have had to face other people's assumptions, their questions, their pity, their careless advice. They may have told you to relax, to stop looking, to just have fun, to settle, to lower expectations, to believe anything is better than nothing. But I am not telling you to settle. I am telling you to heal. I am not telling you to lower your expectations. I am telling you to raise your discernment. I am not telling you to stop hoping. I am telling you to hope in the one who knows exactly how to fulfill what he promised without damaging your soul in the process. I see the exact shape of your loneliness, beloved. I see how it can sit in a room with you even when others are around. I see how you can feel touched by people and still untouched in the place that matters most. I see the way your heart has learned to stay half-protected because fully opening once cost you so much. I see the way you long for someone who will not only notice you, but understand you. Someone who will not just admire your strength, but honor your softness. Someone who will not flinch at your scars, but will recognize them as evidence that you have survived. And yes, that kind of love exists, because I am the one who invented love in the first place. I know how to write it. I know how to guard it. I know how to send it. So breathe, my child. Breathe into the place where fear has been tightening your chest. Breathe into the place where disappointment has made you tense. Breathe into the place where you have been bracing for more letdown. I am here. I have not stepped away. I have not forgotten your address, your name, your tears, your prayers, your secret hopes. I know the one who is praying for you, and I know the one who is being prepared for you, and I know how to bring what is hidden into the light at exactly the right time. Do not hurry this. Do not let the pain of waiting convince you that you must invent your own way. I am speaking to the part of you that has grown weary of trusting. I am speaking to the place that has started to think maybe love is only for other people. It is not. It is for you too. My love for you is not a consolation prize. And the person I am preparing is not a random addition to your life. They are part of the story I have been telling since before you were formed. There is purpose in this. There is mercy in this. There is protection in this. And there is a love coming toward you that has been praying long before it had a name to pray over. So stay with me, beloved. Let me untangle what fear has twisted. Let me heal what disappointment has bruised. Let me show you that the longing in your chest was never meant to drive you into panic, but into deeper trust. Your soulmate is praying for you without knowing your name, and I am hearing every word. I am preparing the path. I am guarding the timing. I am exposing the hidden. I am making room. And when the moment comes, you will understand why I asked you to wait, why I asked you to surrender, and why I refuse to hand you anything less than a love that can survive in the light. My child, I want you to hear this with tenderness, not shame. I know why your heart ran to those traps. I know why fear felt louder than faith. I know why you reached for any voice that promised relief. I know why financial pressure made you second-guess my timing. I know why broken trust made you suspicious of every new connection. I know why pride, even the quiet kind, made you determined to figure it out on your own before anyone could disappoint you again. I know the whole story beneath the story. Nothing about your struggle has been hidden from me, and I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking to uncover the roots so they can be healed. You fell into fear because you had too many moments where life felt unstable. One disappointment after another taught your nervous system to brace for impact. You learned how to expect the worst so you would not be blindsided again. And because the waiting season was long, fear started to sound practical. It whispered, if you do not control this, you will be hurt again. It whispered, if you do not scan every possibility, you will miss what matters. It whispered, if you do not stay alert every second, you will end up alone. But fear is a terrible counselor. It always demands urgency. It always exaggerates danger. It always turns possibility into panic. And it has never once been able to produce the peace you were truly longing for. You fell into financial pressure because you have lived with real concerns, not imaginary ones. Some of you know what it is to carry bills that do not wait politely. You know what it is to count and recalculate and still come up short. You know what it is to wonder how love could even fit into your life when survival itself has felt like a full-time job. You have told yourself, I cannot afford to hope too much. You have wondered whether a relationship would only add stress, whether a future partner would understand the weight you already carry, whether you are somehow behind because your life does not look settled enough for the kind of love you have been praying for. Beloved, I am not asking you to pretend money is not a real concern. I know it is. But I am asking you not to let provision define your identity or limit my ability to bring blessing into your life. I am not intimidated by what your bank account says. I am not restricted by the economy. I am not waiting for the world to stabilize before I can keep my promises. You fell into broken trust because people hurt you where you were most open. Some of them were careless. Some of them were deceptive. Some of them made promises they never intended to keep. Some of them used your sincerity as if it were weakness. And after enough pain, your heart learned to test everything. That vigilance may have protected you from some harm, but it also made it hard to receive anything good without suspicion. So now, when I begin to send something pure, your first instinct may be to doubt it. When someone treats you well, you may wonder what they want. When affection is steady, you may still wait for the switch, the hidden motive, the sudden withdrawal. I understand why you built walls. I saw the moment you decided that opening your heart had become too expensive. But walls can keep danger out and also keep healing out. And I am gently calling you beyond survival into trust again. You fell into pride because suffering can make self-reliance feel like the only safe place left. Pride does not always look loud. Sometimes it looks like, I do not need anyone. Sometimes it sounds like, I will just handle it myself. Sometimes it hides underneath independence, so strong it becomes isolation. Sometimes it disguises itself as wisdom, but really it is fear wearing armor. My child, I know why you started believing that leaning on me was not enough, that you needed evidence you could control, systems you could manage, answers you could manipulate. But pride is exhausting. It keeps the soul performing even when the heart is tired. It makes you carry what I never asked you to carry alone. And in your exhaustion, you begin to confuse self-protection with strength. But true strength knows how to rest in the arms of the one who holds the future. Do not be surprised that the enemy attacked you at the intersection of these things. Fear, lack, broken trust, and pride are often braided together in the same season. He knows that if he can make you believe I am late, he can tempt you to panic. If he can make you believe you are not provided for, he can tempt you to compromise. If he can make you believe everyone will betray you, he can tempt you to isolate. If he can make you believe you must figure everything out alone, he can tempt you to stand in self-sufficiency instead of surrender. That is why I am shining light on these roots now. Because what is exposed can be healed. What is named can be broken. What is brought before me can be transformed. Look at Job, beloved. He was not suffering because I abandoned him. He was not forgotten because his life became painful. The enemy came against him, and yet I kept a boundary around what could touch him. Job lost what made him feel secure. He lost comfort. He lost health. He lost the visible evidence of blessing that others could see. And still, beneath the ashes, his story was not over. I had not finished with him. Even when he could not understand my ways, I was still faithful to him. Even when people around him misjudged him, I knew the truth. Even when he sat in grief asking hard questions, I was still the Lord over the ending. And I restored him in a way that revealed my heart. My child, I did this for Job, and I am doing it for you. I have not left you in the ashes because I enjoy your pain. I have allowed a season of stripping because I am revealing what can never be shaken. And Joseph, beloved, think of Joseph. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into a place he did not choose, falsely accused, forgotten by those who promised to remember him. He had every reason to assume that the dream I gave him had died in the pit. He had every reason to believe betrayal would be his permanent story. But I was with Joseph in the pit. I was with Joseph in Potiphar's house. I was with Joseph in the prison. Delay was not denial. Hiddenness was not abandonment. The season that looked like setback was the very path by which I positioned him for purpose. The same brothers who thought they had buried the dream eventually stood before the man I had raised up. And when the time came, Joseph could see what he could not see in the beginning. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. My child, I did this for Joseph, and I am doing it for you. What was used to wound you will not have the final word. And David, beloved, do not forget David. He was anointed before he was appointed. He was chosen in private before he was recognized publicly. He spent seasons in fields and caves, an unusual path between promise and fulfillment. He was hunted by Saul even after I had declared favor over him. He had to learn how to worship in the wilderness, how to trust my timing when the throne was real in prophecy, but far away in sight. David did not become king because he forced the door open. He became king because I kept my word through years of hidden preparation. I was shaping his courage while he tended sheep. I was teaching his hands to war while he ran from danger. I was building a heart after my own heart in the places nobody else could see. My child, I did this for David, and I am doing it for you. The cave is not your coffin. The field is not your failure. The season of obscurity is not evidence against you. And Moses, beloved, consider Moses. He was hidden for years. He was broken by exile. He spent time in the wilderness tending what seemed ordinary, even after once being marked for something more. He thought perhaps his early attempt at deliverance had ruined everything. But I met him at the burning bush when he was not chasing glory, not performing, not proving himself. I spoke into his hesitation. I corrected his excuses. I sent him back to the place he thought he had failed. And through him, I led a people out of bondage. My child, I did this for Moses, and I am doing it for you. The wilderness did not disqualify him. It prepared him. The long years did not erase my calling. They refined it. You see, beloved, the scriptures are not just stories for admiration. They are living witness that I remain the same. I am still the God who sees in secret. I am still the God who hears the cry no one else hears. I am still the God who uses hidden seasons to birth holy outcomes. When I say I am preparing your soulmate, I mean it the way I meant it when I prepared a table for Job after the storm, a throne for David after the cave, a nation through Joseph's suffering, and deliverance through Moses' obedience. I am not improvising your life. I am authoring it. Some of you needed to hear that because you have thought your pain was proof that you were forgotten. But pain is not proof of abandonment. Sometimes pain is proof that something important is being contested. The enemy does not waste energy on what he is not afraid of. If he has attacked your peace, your trust, your ability to hope, it is because there is something he cannot stop if you keep holding on to me. There is a love in your future that he would like to contaminate before it begins. There is a covenant he would like to counterfeit. There is a peace he would like to delay. But he cannot outrun my hand. He cannot undo what I have established. He cannot claim what I have sealed. Still, I know how much the pressure has affected your decisions. When people live under pressure long enough, they begin to choose from fear instead of faith. They settle because they are tired. They rush because they are afraid. They hold on too tightly because they cannot bear another loss. They become suspicious because their wounds are still open. They avoid vulnerability because it feels too expensive. That is why I am speaking to the reasons behind your traps, not just the traps themselves. I am not trying to merely change your behavior. I am healing the beliefs underneath it. I am replacing the lie that says you must secure your own future with the truth that says I am your provider. I am replacing the lie that says everyone leaves with the truth that says I remain faithful. I am replacing the lie that says you have to earn love with the truth that says I have already chosen you. Beloved, I need you to understand how deeply your soul has been impacted by waiting in a broken world. Waiting is not easy when you have been disappointed. Waiting is not easy when you have watched others receive what you longed for. Waiting is not easy when you have carried responsibilities that made your heart feel older than your years. So when you found a way to imagine control, even through manifestation, patterns, signs, and lucky timing, it made sense in the moment. You were not trying to rebel against me. You were trying to survive. You were trying to soothe uncertainty. You were trying to keep your heart from collapsing under the weight of not knowing. I see that. I honor the pain beneath it. But I am calling you upward now. I am calling you out of survival mode and into sonship, into daughterhood, into the kind of trust that does not need every answer before it can breathe. And yes, I know there are questions in you right now. You want to know how this will happen. You want to know where they are. You want to know whether you will recognize them. You want to know whether your own heart has changed too much. You want to know whether there is still room for joy after all the damage. I am not offended by your questions, but I do not want you to worship the answers more than you worship me. When the answers become an idol, peace becomes impossible. When knowing becomes the highest priority, intimacy with me gets pushed aside. And yet it is in intimacy that your heart is stabilized. It is in walking closely with me that you stop being ruled by every wave of emotion. Joseph did not know the end from the beginning. Neither did Job. Neither did David. Neither did Moses. But each of them learned to trust me in the middle, and the middle was where character was forged. The middle was where trust became deeper than explanation. The middle was where hidden things were exposed. The middle was where my faithfulness became personal. I am bringing you through a middle season, not to torment you, but to mature you. I am teaching you that not every unanswered prayer is a no. Some are a not yet. Some are a wait while I heal. Some are a no because I love you too much to give you what would harm you. Some are hidden because I am protecting both you and the one I have for you from timing that would not hold. There is also a tenderness in your story that you have not fully noticed. The very fact that your heart still longs for love, despite what you have been through, tells you something holy. The enemy was not able to kill your capacity to hope. He tried to make you cynical. He tried to make you numb. He tried to make you believe that longing was weakness. But longing can be sacred when it is surrendered to me. There is a difference between craving and consecrated desire. Craving demands. Consecrated desire trusts. Craving panics when the answer is delayed. Consecrated desire waits with expectation. I am transforming your longing into something pure enough to receive what I have prepared. Some of you are still carrying the opinions of people who did not see your value. They overlooked you. They underestimated you. They made you feel ordinary, invisible, behind. But I never agreed with their assessment. I have never once looked at you and called you too much or not enough. I have never once regretted choosing you. And I am calling you to reject every voice that tries to define you by the seasons that hurt you. You are not the betrayal. You are not the mistake. You are not the missed opportunity. You are not the one who was left behind. You are my beloved, and I am faithful to finish what I start. This is why I keep bringing you back to Scripture, because Scripture will steady what emotion shakes. When you read of Job's restoration, let it tell you, I can restore your joy. When you read of Joseph's rise, let it tell you, I can elevate you after betrayal. When you read of David's enthronement, let it tell you, I can fulfill promises that seemed delayed for years. When you read of Moses' deliverance, let it tell you, I can use the place of your weakness as the place of my power. I am not a God of one season only. I am the God of all seasons. And the same heart that guided them is guiding you. So if your trust has been broken, bring it to me. If your finances have made you anxious, bring them to me. If fear has shaped your choices, bring them to me. If pride has made you self-protective to the point of isolation, bring that too. I will not reject your honesty. I cannot heal the part you keep hidden. And I am not asking you to confess these things because I am ignorant of them. I am asking because confession opens the door to freedom. It lets the light in. It closes the mouth of accusation. It reminds your soul that you do not have to pretend with me. Beloved, your soulmate's prayers are not floating aimlessly in the air. I am receiving them. Your prayers are not wasted either. I am receiving them. And as I receive them, I am answering by shaping two lives in parallel, two hearts under construction, two stories moving toward one appointed moment. I know how to do this without confusion. I know how to do this without unnecessary pain. I know how to do this with precision. And I know how to do this in a way that will make you say, only God could have arranged that. Do not look at the rough edges of your present and conclude the story. Do not look at the silent middle and assume nothing is happening. Do not look at the fact that they do not know your name yet and believe that means you are unseen. I see the distance. I see the hunger. I see the preparation. And I am using even the things that once made you afraid to build a testimony that will outlast the waiting. You may not understand the road, but you can trust the guide. You may not see the person, but you can trust the one who is drawing them. You may not know the timing, but you can trust the one who keeps time. I am not late, my child. I am never late. I am not scrambling to catch up with your needs. I am already ahead, already faithful, already arranging what you cannot yet perceive. And as I continue to work, I am also teaching you how to rest in the fact that the love I send will not arrive empty-handed. It will arrive with peace. It will arrive with purpose. It will arrive with my hand upon it. So keep listening. Keep surrendering. Keep letting me name the things fear tried to hide. Keep letting me show you why the traps formed, so the same traps do not repeat. Keep your heart open enough for healing and guarded enough for wisdom. Because the next part of your story is not being written by panic. It is being written by grace. My child, I know how the silence sounds at 3 in the morning when your mind will not rest. I know how it feels to stare at the ceiling and replay every conversation, every loss, every regret, every unanswered prayer. I know how the room can feel too still when your heart is too loud. I know what it is to sit in the middle of life after the job was lost, after the marriage fell apart, after the diagnosis came, after the phone never rang back, after the apology never came, after the person you trusted became the one who wounded you. I know how lonely a house can feel when the bills are stacked on the counter, the dishes are undone, your body is tired, and your spirit is trying to be brave just one more day. And I know the deep pain of watching other people move on with their lives while yours seems paused in a place you never chose. But there is something I need you to know before I say anything else. What you called delay was not wasted time. What you called silence was not absence. What you called rejection was not the end. It was preparation. It was not because I was ignoring you. It was because I was protecting you. It was not because I forgot your prayer. It was because I was answering it in a way you could not yet recognize. The door that did not open, the relationship that did not last, the offer that fell through, the dream that seemed to stall, the plans that unraveled, the tears you cried over and over again in the dark, all of it was being used by my hand to prepare you for a love that could survive reality, not just fantasy. Beloved, if I had given you what you wanted before I had healed what was hurting, you might have mistaken relief for redemption. You might have called convenience destiny. You might have held on to someone simply because they arrived at a lonely time. But I am not building your life on emotional relief. I am building it on truth. And truth requires seasoning. Truth requires maturity. Truth requires that you become the kind of person who can receive a blessing without turning it into an idol, and receive love without losing yourself in fear of losing it. You did not understand it when the job ended, but I was not stripping you to shame you. I was stripping away false security so you would learn where your help really comes from. You did not understand it when the relationship broke, but I was exposing what was unstable before it could become a covenant. You did not understand it when sickness interrupted your plans, but I was teaching you that your body is not your enemy and your weakness is not disqualifying. You did not understand it when betrayal cut deeper than words could explain, but I was separating your destiny from people who would have misused your trust. You did not understand it when you lay awake night after night, but I was doing something in the hidden places of your mind and heart that a busy season could never have accomplished. There are things only stillness can reveal. There are wounds only quiet can expose. There are patterns only delay can interrupt. And there are prayers only pressure can produce. You may have thought you were simply waiting for a soulmate, but I was also waiting for something in you to be ready. I was waiting for your desperation to soften into discernment. I was waiting for your grief to become wisdom. I was waiting for your hunger to become holy instead of frantic. I was waiting for your identity to settle into my love so that when the right person comes, you will not make them the center of your universe. You will know how to love them without worshiping them. You will know how to receive them without depending on them to define you. I know this is tender, my child. I know some of it hurts because it touches old places. But I am not saying it to wound you. I am saying it to liberate you. Some of you have been carrying unspoken grief from divorce. You did not plan to be here. You did not plan to rebuild after vows were broken. You did not plan to sit in the aftermath of decisions you did not make. And yet here you are, still breathing, still praying, still trying to believe that love was not lost forever. I want you to hear me clearly. The breaking of one covenant does not mean I have abandoned the possibility of covenant in your life. What was destroyed by human failure is not beyond my redemptive power. I am able to bring healing where there was hurt, and hope where there was only ashes. Some of you are grieving the loss of a spouse, and the kind of loneliness you carry is not easily explained to people who have never been there. You know what it is to go from shared routines to empty chairs, from familiar voices to silence, from planning a future together to learning how to live with absence. Beloved, I know that grief intimately. I am near the brokenhearted. I am not asking you to rush through sorrow so you can be available for a new story. I am asking you to let me sit with you in the story you are still in. There is no dishonor in mourning what was real, and there is no betrayal in allowing your heart to hope again when I begin to heal it. Some of you are fighting chronic illness or exhaustion that has changed the way you see yourself. You look in the mirror and feel foreign to your own life. You wonder if anyone could love the version of you that is tired, limited, and sometimes afraid. My child, I see you beyond appearances. I see the courage it takes to keep going in a body that feels like it is failing you. I see the grief you carry when you cannot do what you used to do. And I want you to know that the love I am preparing is not blind to suffering. It will not be shallow. It will not be built only on the polished moments. It will have room for tenderness, patience, and compassion because I am the one shaping both hearts. I am teaching the one who is praying for you how to love with kindness, not performance. Some of you are still reeling from betrayal by family, friends, church people, or someone you trusted deeply. That kind of betrayal does something to a person. It makes you question your judgment. It can make you feel foolish for believing the best. It can make you vow never again to be that open, that soft, that sincere. But beloved, I am restoring your ability to trust without making you naive. I am teaching you how to discern without becoming cynical. I am healing the exact place where betrayal tried to turn your tenderness into suspicion. You will not always have to brace yourself like this. You will not always have to scan the room for danger. There is freedom ahead, and it begins with letting me be the protector of your heart instead of your fear. And I know about the nights when there was no one to call. I know about the silent tears. I know about the moment you finally put your phone down because no answer was coming. I know about the way you scrolled to distract yourself from your own thoughts. I know about the way you listened to worship music with your hand over your mouth so no one heard you sob. I know about the way you sat in your car longer than necessary because the thought of going back inside felt heavier than staying put. I know about the mornings when you forced yourself to get dressed while your insides felt like they were falling apart. I know about the brave face. I know about the hidden collapse. And I tell you, my child, none of it was invisible to me. There are seasons when a soul feels buried under ordinary life. You go to work, you come home, you take care of what needs taking care of, but inside you are wondering whether anything beautiful is actually coming. You see the calendar. You see the bills. You see the empty space beside you. You see the unfinished healing. And the enemy likes to use those visible things to accuse you with invisible lies. It is too late. It is too messy. It is too much. You missed it. You ruined it. You are forgotten. But I am exposing those lies now. I am saying no to the accusation. I am saying you are not behind. You are being led. You are not finished. You are being formed. Let me speak to the part of you that is terrified of more disappointment. That fear is understandable. It has history. It has receipts. It can point to real wounds and say, see why you should not hope too much. But hope in me is not the same as wishful thinking. Hope in me is anchored. It does not deny reality. It places reality under my authority. Hope in me says, even if I do not know how, I know who. Hope in me says, even if this season is hard, God is still good. Hope in me says, even if I have been delayed, I have not been denied. And beloved, I am teaching you to stand in that kind of hope because it will carry you through the next part of your story. You have been asking me for a sign, but the deepest sign may have been the way I kept you from settling. The way you could never quite make peace with a counterfeit. The way something in your spirit recoiled even when your emotions wanted to run ahead. That was not confusion for its own sake. That was protection. I was preserving your yes. I was preserving your capacity to recognize what is real. I was preserving your heart from becoming so compromised by loneliness that it would accept any hand reaching out to it. I did not want you to call a temporary comfort a lifelong calling. Now, I need you to sit with this slowly. The very season that looked like nothing happening was the season in which everything important was happening. While you were being pruned, I was preparing your fruitfulness. While you were being humbled, I was strengthening your foundation. While you were being broken open, I was removing the debris that would have blocked intimacy later. While you were learning to let go, I was teaching you what kind of love is worth holding. This is why the delay felt so painful, because it was not idle. It was intentional. And intentional shaping can feel like silence to a heart that wants immediate relief. My child, remember how I worked in Joseph's life. He could not see the prison as preparation while he was in it. He did not know that every forgotten day was building the wisdom he would need. He did not know that the discipline of waiting would later allow him to discern what others could not. There was a throne waiting for him, but first there had to be a furnace of formation. There was a position of authority waiting for him, but first there had to be a faith that could withstand injustice. That is what I am doing in you. I am preparing not just your relationship, but your readiness. I am ensuring that when the blessing arrives, you do not collapse under the weight of it. Look again at David. When he was overlooked by his own family, it did not mean he was insignificant. It meant I saw what others missed. When he was sent back to the sheep, it did not mean his anointing was fake. It meant there were battles he needed to win in secret before he would ever face Goliath in public. There is a private victory in your life that matters. There is a place where you are learning how to trust me when no one is applauding. That is where I am making you ready. The public answer will only reveal what the hidden season produced. And Moses, beloved, Moses was not rushed into his calling. 40 years of wilderness were not a detour from my plan. They were part of the plan. The man who would speak to Pharaoh had to first learn silence before me. The man who would lead people out had to first learn dependence on the God who goes with him. You may think your own wilderness disqualifies you. I tell you it has been training you. The isolation taught you how to hear my voice. The losses taught you compassion. The pressure taught you endurance. The tears taught you surrender. What you thought was wasting your life was actually shaping the one who will recognize the gift when it comes. And yes, I am speaking directly to the one you have been praying for too. They have had their own wilderness, their own heartbreak, their own sleepless nights, their own moments of wondering whether anyone sees them, their own temptations to become hardened by life. I have been dealing with them just as I have been dealing with you. Do not imagine that only your heart has been bruised. Do not imagine that only your waiting has been long. I am sovereign over both stories. And when I bring them together, it will not be a collision of unresolved chaos. It will be a meeting of two hearts that have been shaped by my hand. You do not have to fear that love will blind you when I am the one who is leading it. You do not have to fear losing yourself inside of it when I am the one who is anchoring you. You do not have to fear that the same pain will repeat forever. I am breaking cycles. I am interrupting patterns. I am bringing light into places where hidden things have been hiding for too long. And some of those hidden things are not just in other people. Some are in you. Old expectations, silent vows, unconscious assumptions, the reflex to run, the reflex to cling, the reflex to test, the reflex to withdraw. I am bringing all of that into the open because your future deserves healing, not just hope. Beloved, I know you want the turning point to come with fireworks. Sometimes it does. But often the real turning point begins quietly. It begins when you stop demanding proof from every passing moment. It begins when your spirit says, Lord, I am tired, but I will trust you. It begins when you no longer need to predict everything to feel safe. It begins when you realize I have been with you in every chapter, including the ones you wanted to skip. This is the moment the story changes, not when the world becomes easy, but when your heart becomes more settled in me. The thing you called delay was not God forgetting. It was God preparing. The thing you called closed was not the end. It was refinement. The thing you called loss was not meaningless. It was the removal of what could not travel with you. And the ache that has followed you was not proof that you were cursed. It was proof that your heart was made for something real. I would not allow such a deep longing if I had no intention of meeting it with wisdom, with mercy, and with my perfect timing. Stay with me here, beloved. Do not rush past this holy realization. While you were thinking you were being left behind, I was strengthening your roots. While you were counting what you lost, I was building what could remain. While you were praying for the door to open, I was preparing the person on the other side to meet you whole enough to sustain what I give. This is why the waiting mattered. This is why I did not answer in the form you expected. I was not punishing you with delay. I was preparing you for a love that can survive the real world, a love that can stand after the initial excitement fades, a love that will be marked by peace, patience, truth, and covenant. And when you look back, you will see my fingerprints on every hidden moment. You will see that even the tears were used. Even the losses were used. Even the sleepless nights were used. Even the betrayal was used to carve discernment into your spirit. Nothing was wasted. Nothing is wasted. Not one prayer. Not one surrender. Not one lonely evening. Not one season of wondering. I am still writing, my child, and what comes next will make sense in ways the waiting never could. My child, before I place the final words over your heart, there is one more thing you need to understand, and it will change the way you see this entire season. What you thought was only about romance was always about refinement. What you thought was only about loneliness was also about formation. What you thought was only about a soulmate was actually about a testimony that would prove I can prepare, protect, and provide in ways no human hand ever could. And there is something else hidden in this story that you have not fully seen yet. I have been preserving you from an ending that would have looked like an answer, but carried a wound inside it. You would have mistaken emotional intensity for covenant. You would have called familiarity a miracle. You would have stayed in what was merely available instead of waiting for what was truly appointed. But I have not let you be trapped by what only felt close. I have been guiding you toward what is clean, steady, and lasting. My child, I am not only bringing someone to you. I am bringing you into a season where you finally recognize the difference between being wanted and being loved well. Those are not the same thing. I want you to remember that. I speak peace over the places where your mind has been racing. You will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. That word is for you, beloved. I am keeping you, not by your own grip, not by your own effort, not by your own ability to hold everything together, but by my peace. When your thoughts begin to spiral, I am able to steady them. When fear starts narrating a future that I never wrote, I am able to silence it. When your heart begins to predict pain before it arrives, I am able to interrupt that cycle with truth. I speak healing over your memory. I speak restoration over every place where betrayal rewrote your expectations. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That is not poetry only, my child. That is my nature. I do not just cover wounds. I bind them. I do not just distract you from pain. I heal at the root. Some of you have been functioning while wounded, serving while wounded, smiling while wounded, making decisions while wounded. But I am not content with you merely surviving. I am leading you into healing that reaches the places even you have avoided touching. I will not let your future be shaped by an untreated wound when I have the power to restore you from the inside out. I speak provision over the financial pressure that has tried to make you panic. My God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Hear me, beloved. Your need does not intimidate me. Your lack does not exhaust me. Your bills do not overwhelm me. Your uncertainty about housing, income, work, retirement, support, and the future do not confuse me. I know how to sustain you in lean seasons. I know how to open doors no one can shut. I know how to provide through channels you would never have predicted. I know how to give you wisdom with money, discipline with resources, and grace in the middle of uncertainty. I am not only preparing your heart for love, I am preparing your life for stability. I speak courage over the fears that have made you shrink. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Wherever you go, my child. Not just in church. Not just in the moments when you feel spiritual. Not just when you are hopeful. Wherever you go. To the doctor's office. To the interview. To the empty house. To the lawyer's office. To the funeral. To the long drive home. To the grocery store when you feel overwhelmed. To the sleepless night when you cannot quiet your thoughts. I am there. And because I am there, fear does not get the final word. I speak discernment over your relationships. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God. I am giving you that kind of wisdom. You will not have to live naively. You will not have to guess your way through love forever. I am teaching you to recognize consistency, humility, truth, patience, and peace. I am teaching you to notice what aligns with my character and what only flatters your longing. Some of you have been so starved for affection that almost any attention felt like a gift. But I am restoring your standards without making you prideful. I am showing you how to wait for what is worthy of your trust. And yes, that includes the one praying for you right now, though they do not know your name. When the time comes, you will know by the fruit, not the fantasy. I speak divine timing over the waiting. For everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. You have not missed your season. You have been in a season. Seasons change by my hand, not by your fear. The seed does not bloom before its appointed time. The winter does not last forever. The dark hour does not get to rewrite the promise. I know the exact moment when what I have hidden will be revealed. I know the exact time when what has been developing in secret will come into the open. And when it comes, it will not come confused, rushed, or unstable. It will come with the fingerprints of peace. I speak comfort to the lonely places in your heart. I will never leave you nor forsake you. That promise is not for other people only. It is for you. When you feel forgotten by family, I am there. When you feel unseen at work, I am there. When your home feels too quiet, I am there. When you sit with your coffee and feel the ache of another day beginning without the one you hoped would be beside you, I am there. My presence is not a placeholder. My presence is not second best. My presence is the ground beneath you when everything else shifts. I speak resurrection over what looked dead. Remember the valley of dry bones. Remember that I can breathe life into what has been lifeless so long it no longer resembles its original purpose. Some of you have felt that way about your heart. Dry, overworked, tired of hoping, wondering if you are still capable of joy. But I am the God who asks, can these bones live? And then answers my own question with breath. Yes, beloved. Yes, they can. Yes, I can restore desire. Yes, I can restore trust. Yes, I can restore delight. Yes, I can restore laughter after grief. Yes, I can restore your capacity to love and be loved again. And hear me on this, my child. I am not just preparing someone for you. I am preparing the kind of union that glorifies me. If I send love into your life, it will not be merely for comfort. It will be for covenant. It will be for witness. It will be for purpose. It will not only bless you, it will strengthen what I am doing in both of your lives. The love I am preparing will not pull you away from me. It will help anchor you more deeply in me. It will not compete with your calling. It will honor it. It will not make you compromise your values. It will confirm them. And if anything or anyone tries to lead you away from my peace, that is not the love I am sending. You have cried enough tears to know the cost of giving your heart carelessly. You have lived enough life to understand that chemistry alone is not enough. You need truth. You need gentleness. You need consistency. You need a love that can pray, forgive, communicate, serve, grow, and stay. That is not too much to ask for. That is what I designed covenant to reflect. And I am fully able to bring it about in a way that makes room for healing, not just excitement. Some of you have spent too many years surviving a relationship or grieving the lack of one. I am not calling you to settle for emotional crumbs. I am calling you into the fullness of what I have ordained. There are still hidden things being exposed, beloved. That exposure is mercy. Some connections around you will not survive the light because they were built on what was unspoken, unmet, or untrue. Let them go. Do not cry over what cannot remain. Do not keep trying to revive what I have already removed. Every no I have allowed has been a fence around your future, and every delay has been a mercy that spared you from grief you could not yet see. Now I want you to listen to this as if I were speaking it over you in the quiet of your own room, because I am. You will not be swallowed by the fear that has stalked your nights. You will not be defined by the person who betrayed you. You will not be limited by the season that broke you open. You will not be overlooked because others failed to see your worth. You will not be trapped in a pattern I am already breaking. You will not miss what I have assigned to you. You will not be forgotten in the waiting. You will not be forsaken in the silence. You will not be left with a love story that ends in ash, because I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, oil of joy for mourning, and a garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. I know some of you are still afraid to believe that good things can happen to you. You have been let down so often that hope feels dangerous. But I am not asking you to gamble on uncertainty. I am asking you to trust a faithful God. I am not a man that I should lie. I do not change my mind like the wind. What I have spoken, I will perform. What I have promised, I will bring to pass. The journey may take more turns than you expected, but the destination is secure. My child, I have never once lost track of you. And yes, I am still speaking about the one who is praying for you. Their prayers are not wasted either. They are being shaped in the same fire that shaped yours. They are learning patience, humility, discernment, and surrender. They are being delivered from their own version of fear, their own rush to force outcomes, their own desire to control what only I can ordain. When I bring the two of you together, it will not be because either of you manufactured the moment. It will be because I ordained the meeting, sustained the timing, and guarded the process. And because I did, what begins in me will not be easily shaken by what comes against it. Do not despise the days that felt ordinary. I was there in the commute, in the kitchen, in the workplace, in the hospital corridor, in the quiet walk after sunset, in the routine that felt repetitive. I was working through the ordinary to prepare you for the extraordinary. I was teaching you to recognize my voice in small things so you could trust me with larger ones. I was building stamina in you, and I was doing the same in the one who is praying for you. You both needed a foundation strong enough to hold the gift. Now, beloved, let me pray over you. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift this precious child before you with tenderness and authority, and I ask you to do what only you can do. I ask you to place your hand over their mind tonight and quiet every storm that has been raging there. Where anxiety has been whispering worst-case scenarios, speak your peace. Where fear has been predicting abandonment, speak your faithfulness. Where loneliness has been echoing through the halls of their heart, speak your presence so clearly that their spirit cannot deny it. Let the noise of the enemy lose its power in the light of your truth. I ask you, Father, to heal the places that betrayal cut open. Heal the memories that still sting. Heal the mistrust that formed after disappointment. Heal the tenderness that was mocked, mishandled, or used. Heal the parts of them that learned to expect pain before love. Let the old wounds no longer govern the new season. Let what was once a source of fear become a testimony of restoration. Bind up their heart, Lord. Bind up their wounds. Let every scar become a witness to your mercy. I ask you, Father, to bless their work, their finances, and their daily provision. If they are under pressure, give them wisdom. If they are in lack, make a way. If they are facing job loss, open doors. If they are trying to rebuild after loss, steady their hands. If they are weary from carrying too much, provide helpers, resources, favor, and peace. Teach them how to manage well, how to sow wisely, how to rest without guilt, and how to trust you in the middle of practical needs. Let them know that you are Jehovah Jireh, not only in theory, but in the details of their life. I ask you, Father, to strengthen them where they have become weary. Some have been awake too many nights, crying too many quiet tears, thinking too many heavy thoughts. Some have been living in a state of internal alarm because the world has wounded them repeatedly. Interrupt that cycle, Lord. Give them sleep that restores. Give them breath that steadies. Give them energy to face the day without dread. Give them grace to take one step at a time instead of trying to solve the whole future in 1 hour. Let their body receive the peace their spirit has been longing for. I ask you, Father, for discernment. Protect them from counterfeit love, manipulative voices, misleading signs, and connections that only look right from a distance. Give them eyes to see what is hidden. Give them ears to hear what is not said. Give them a spirit that recognizes truth quickly and confusion even faster. Let them not be flattered by what is shallow. Let them not be dazzled by what is temporary. Let them wait for what carries the fragrance of your hand. And when the one you have been preparing draws near, let recognition come with peace, not panic. Let it come with clarity, not obsession. I ask you, Father, to guard the person who has been praying for them without knowing their name. Strengthen that person's walk with you. Purify their motives. Heal their old wounds. Teach them to love with honesty, patience, and courage. Protect them from discouragement, from distraction, from shortcuts, from relationships that would drain their purpose. Let them continue to seek you while you prepare the meeting that only you can arrange. Keep them hidden until the appointed time, and let their heart remain soft but strong. I ask you, Father, to break the power of fear over this beloved child. Fear of being alone, fear of being chosen and then abandoned, fear of missing out, fear of aging, fear of starting over, fear of trusting again, fear of not being enough, fear of being too much, fear of hope, fear of joy, fear of the future. In the authority of Jesus, I ask you to shatter those chains. Let courage rise in its place. Let holy expectancy rise in its place. Let settled confidence rise in its place. Let them know that they are not walking into tomorrow alone. You are already there. I ask you, Father, to redeem the delays. Redeem the broken timelines. Redeem the years that felt lost. Redeem the tears that were poured out in secret. Redeem the places where they thought they had failed. Redeem the seasons where nothing made sense. Let them look back and see that you were preparing, pruning, protecting, positioning, and preserving all along. Let the turning point be so clear in hindsight that they will say with tears, you were there the whole time. And now, Father, I ask for the blessing of peace that surpasses understanding. Let it guard their heart and mind in Christ Jesus. Not partial peace, not temporary peace, not peace that depends on everything going perfectly. Let it guard them in traffic, in the office, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, in the waiting room, in the church pew, in the late-night hour, in the empty season, in the uncertain one, in the beginning and in the in-between. Let peace become the atmosphere around their life. I pray for wisdom over every decision ahead. Wisdom to know when to speak and when to be still. Wisdom to know when to move and when to wait. Wisdom to know what is from you and what is not. Wisdom to steward the gift when it comes. Wisdom to guard the heart without hardening it. Wisdom to love deeply without losing discernment. Wisdom to build a future that honors you in all things. I pray for protection over their body, mind, home, family, and future. Let no weapon formed against them prosper. Let every accusation fall flat. Let every scheme of the enemy be exposed and undone. Place your angels around them. Guard the roads they travel. Guard the conversations they enter. Guard the opportunities they pursue. Guard their sleep. Guard their health. Guard their emotions. Guard their calling. Guard the love you are preparing. Keep what is theirs from being stolen, twisted, or delayed beyond your will. I pray for breakthrough, Lord. Breakthrough in the heart. Breakthrough in provision. Breakthrough in grief. Breakthrough in hope. Breakthrough in trust. Breakthrough in the places that have felt stuck for too long. Breakthrough in the hidden places no one else sees. Let this be the season where the chain finally breaks, where the stone rolls away, where the door opens, where the burden lifts, where the grief loosens its grip, where the promise begins to breathe. And I thank you, Father, that you are not only preparing a soulmate, but preparing a testimony. A testimony that says you are faithful. A testimony that says waiting was not wasted. A testimony that says the hidden place was holy ground. A testimony that says what was delayed was prepared, what was broken was healed, and what was prayed for in secret was answered in your perfect time. My child, receive this now. Let it settle deep. Let your breathing slow. Let your heart unclench. I am with you. I am for you. I am ahead of you. I am working in the one who is praying for you. I am working in you. I am working in the middle. And I will not stop until what I promised has come into the light. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. You are not delayed. You are being defended. You are not alone. You are held. And this is my blessing over you. May peace find you before fear does. May love recognize you when the time comes. And may you never doubt again that I was writing your story all along.